This is the Toyota Corolla Altis, which has always been the epitome of sensible transportation. Equally sensible is what's powering this specific Corolla Altis, which is a 1.8-liter hybrid powertrain. And you won't believe the fuel economy I got with this car over a week's worth of use. Pero bago natin simulan ang review na ito, be sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell para lagi kayong notified whenever we review a hybrid vehicle. But first, the looks. Though it's not the sexiest thing on the planet, I do like how the Toyota Corolla Altis looks. I do think it looks more exciting compared to the previous Altis, especially with the V variants with its 17-inch alloy wheels, full LED headlights and taillights, and that striking front end. The proportions also look nice, though in my opinion I still prefer how the Mazda 3 sedan looks. Moving inside, and you'll appreciate the simple and clutter-free interior design. Sa totoo lang, I'm even surprised how much soft-touch plastics Toyota use in the interior of the Corolla Altis.
So one of the good things about the Toyota Corolla Altis is that the interior is much more premium compared to its predecessors. There's loads of soft-touch materials here on the dashboard, and that extends all the way to the rear passengers. Because there are cars on the Civic where the soft-touch plastics don't reach to the rear occupants. So, at least Toyota cares about the rear occupants, no? Joke lang. Ang harsh ko naman. But yeah, the interior's relatively stylish. Though there's no denying the fact that the all-new Mazda 3 is really such a premium vehicle. Talagang that car's interior is on another level. Still, it's a good effort for Toyota to make an interior that's plush, premium, though there's one thing that I hate about this interior, and we're gonna be getting to that in a minute.
That specific item that I hate about the interior is its infotainment system. So sa ibang bansa, yung Toyota Corolla uses Toyota's own in-house infotainment system. But that's not the case here in the Philippines. Kaya mapapansin nyo, mayroon siyang umbok sa likod. At hindi siya yung parang thin na tablet design like the overseas Corolla models. Apart from the doubled bezel monstrosity that you see here, yung kanyang user interface is very clunky and sobrang hirap kumonekta via Bluetooth. Yung iPhone ko says it's already connected, but that isn't immediately reflected in the infotainment screen, which is really frustrating to be honest. Making matters worse is the lack of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which all of its competitors have. But thankfully, Toyota is revamping its infotainment system, with the new Corolla Cross, new Hilux, and new Fortuner now finally using Toyota's own in-house infotainment system. Clunky infotainment systems aside, space inside the Corolla Altis is excellent. I would also like to commend the seats, which are really comfortable on long drives, especially those at the front. I also appreciate the fact na sobrang generous ng kanyang lumbar support, which is important for me on long drives. Now as for those rear seats, the sculpted outer seats mean they're best left for 2, though it is wide enough for 3 people. Yun nga lang, due to the raised center seat, headroom becomes limited for tall adults like me. Trunk space for the Corolla Altis is pretty average for the class. Regardless if you get the hybrid or the non-hybrid variants, you get 471 liters of space. The Honda Civic sedan is still the class leader, offering as much as 519 liters of space. Powering the Corolla Altis are 2 engine choices. Most variants are powered by a 1.6-liter 4-cylinder gasoline engine, which produces these numbers. What we're driving today is the 1.8-liter hybrid powertrain, which is exclusive to the V variant. If you wanna find out if the added cost is worth it, better read my full review at goflatoutph.com, with the full link posted at the description below.
Now, one of the good things about this car is that it's a really refined vehicle. So, Toyota's been doing hybrids since 1996, if I'm not mistaken, with the Toyota Prius. So, they've basically mastered the hybrid game in the first place. So, as a result, itong Toyota Corolla Altis hybrid na ito is super refined, super quiet, super fuel efficient. Like, my fuel economy for the past 1 week that I've been using this car is an astounding 4.3 liters per 100 kilometers, or in km per liter, that means I've been consuming, I've been having a fuel economy figure of 23.2 kilometers per liter, and that's freaking impressive. I've never driven a car whose average fuel economy, both city and highway, is past 20 kilometers per liter. That's insane. That's insane. As in, that's way better compared to any other non-hybrid vehicle. That's even better, twice as much pa nga compared to the Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid and the Volvo XC60 plug-in hybrid, which I've also driven recently. And that's basically your proof on how Toyota has been really excellent at their hybrid game for the past more than 20 years or so. But with that focus on fuel economy, in terms of performance, the Corolla Altis hybrid is not exactly what you would call as fast or exhilarating. So compared to, let's say, a Honda Civic RS Turbo, it's not exactly what you would call fast. It does the job. That's pretty much it. It accelerates, brakes, turns pretty well, like you would expect in a car. And that's the point with the Toyota Corolla Altis. It's basically a car that's meant to bring you from A to B in relative comfort. As in, yun talagang trabaho niya. Though in fairness, compared to the Toyota Corolla Altis 2-liter, the 2.0 Corolla Altis before, I could say that in terms of response and yung actual performance niya, they're pretty much on the same level, since the electric motors are there to sort of provide that extra power for the gasoline, the 1.8 liter Atkinson cycle gasoline engine. And then, because of that hybrid motor, that electric motor, yung kanyang response kapag, let's say, gusto mong overtake sa highway, it's actually pretty good. So hindi siya yung parang apak ka sa gas, may konting delay ka, no. There's always that aid from the electric motors, kaya it never feels sluggish. Though again, not fast, not exhilaratingly fast, but more of if there's power when you need it, and there's overtaking power when you need it. And since this uses an ECVT, when you put your foot down, power delivery is quite good, but unlike other CVTs where they try to pretend that they're a traditional automatic with step ratios, this one doesn't even pretend at all. Talagang, when you put your foot down, talagang, it's like a cow giving birth. Yan. Though despite the engine droning, hindi naman siya unrefined, ano. So, the engine still stays relatively muted. It's not super like boomy sa cabin ng Corolla Altis. It still stays at a relatively tolerable level. And then as for handling, steerings, I like the heft, hindi siya super light. I like the fact na medyo may onting weight siya. It's not too light, but it feels numb. There's really no feedback whatsoever. So talagang the steering wheel feels isolated from whatever's happening to the front wheels. Talagang you don't know what's happening. So it's not a fun to drive car. It's not a sporty car. It's just really a cruiser. It's really meant to take you from A to B with no fuss, no drama whatsoever. Though I would like to commend Toyota for this TNGA platform that's in the Corolla Altis. So like in every TNGA car, perhaps except for the RAV4 because of the panoramic sunroof, which sort of affects rigidity, the Corolla Altis hybrid's body feels really rock solid. As in talagang it feels tight, it feels well screwed together, and that's basically the highlights of these scalable architectures, no? Then, as a result, I can tell that the Corolla Altis has potential to be a sports sedan because the foundations are right. Maganda yung rigidity ng kanyang chassis. I like how rock solid the car really feels. And then, going to the brakes, because this is a hybrid, ano? And with hybrids, they always have this regenerative braking feature para ma-charge yung kanyang batteries kapag ikaw ay magbe-brake. So, they tend to feel weird most of the time, yung initial apak mo sa brake, kasi nga, yung first few percentage ng apak mo sa brakes is just the regen, hindi pa yun yung friction brakes mo. In the Corolla Altis, andun pa rin siya. It's initially feel like it's grabby, but not too grabby. Di man siya yung sobrang weird. it's pretty good. The modulation's well-tuned. So kung you've never driven a hybrid or an electric vehicle before, hindi ka naman sobrang maninibago. Talagang it's gonna be easy for you to adapt. So good job on Toyota for that part in the regenerative brakes of the Corolla Altis hybrid. And then as for refinement and ride, it's really good. It's thanks to the TNGA chassis, the TNGA platform, yun nga, it's rigid. But apart from the benefits in terms of handling, another benefit of that is ride. So this uses an all-around independent suspension. No? Previous Corolla Altis models used a torsion beam. Now with the multi-link suspension at the back, maganda yung handling niya. If it only weren't for the steering and it would have been really a fun to drive car because yun nga, as a result, it doesn't really roll that much. Body movements well controlled. Wala siya masyadong body roll. But again, the upside to that is the ride is really good. As in, it's really comfortable. It irons out all the bumps pretty well. But because of the steering now, which doesn't have a lot of feedback, and hindi siya ganun ka-responsive, which is basically catered more on high-speed stability, it's not a fun to drive car. Pero yun nga, the TNGA platform has potential to have a car that feels sporty and fun to drive. May potential siya. But for the target market, which is basically people just want a simple sedan that transports you from A to B in comfort and efficiency, as provided by this hybrid powertrain, the Corolla Altis does the job well. And there's nothing wrong with that since 90%, to be honest, 90% of the buying public of cars, yung mga car buyers sa Pilipinas, they don't really care about steering feel. They don't really care about throttle response and all that stuff. They just want a comfortable car that's easy to own, easy to maintain, easy to run. And of course, with the hybrid powertrain, super duper fuel efficient.
Pricing for the Toyota Corolla Altis starts at 1,014,000 pesos, which gets to the base 1.6e manual variant. For that price, you get 16-inch alloy wheels, halogen headlights, simpler LED daytime running lights, full LED taillights, electronic stability control, hill start assist, 7 airbags, fabric interior, urethane steering wheel, manual aircon, touchscreen infotainment system, and the 6-speaker sound system. Up next is the 1.6G variant, which adds a multi-information display, automatic climate control, power folding mirrors, rear aircon vents, and a leather multifunction steering wheel. Up next is the 1.6V variant, which adds full LED headlights, 17-inch alloy wheels, chrome door handles, synthetic leather interior, digital gauges, electronic parking brake, reverse camera, front and rear parking sensors, power adjustable driver's seat, cruise control, passive entry with push button start, which works in conjunction with the auto folding mirrors. Lastly, this range-topping 1.8V variant we have here of course gets the full hybrid powertrain and the full suite of Toyota Safety Sense advanced driver assist features, which includes automatic emergency braking, full speed radar cruise control, lane departure warning, and what Toyota calls its lane tracing assist feature, which is basically a much smarter lane keeping assist. Thanks to these advanced driver assist features, you basically have a car that can assist you during long highway drives and stop-and-go traffic. Alalahanin na lang na hindi ito full self-driving feature, which means you still need to pay attention on the road. And as a matter of fact, pag matagal na kayo nakabitaw sa steering wheel, the car will continuously warn you until your hands are back on the wheel. Oh, and before I forget, due to the DTI safeguard measures on imported vehicles, buyers of the Corolla Altis will now be required to pay a refundable deposit of 78,400 pesos. Now, is the Toyota Corolla Altis hybrid perfect for you? That depends if the extra cash is worth it. Because in reality, you actually won't be able to recuperate the added cost of the Corolla Altis hybrid over the 1.6V variant. And that's despite the fact that the Corolla Altis is the most fuel-efficient car we've ever tested. Though on the upside, the added cost also comes with the full suite of Toyota Safety Sense advanced driver assist features, which means you're getting more than just the hybrid powertrain. For value-conscious buyers, we highly recommend the 1.6V variant. But if you want the most advanced and the most high-tech Corolla out there, then you certainly can't go wrong with this Corolla Altis hybrid.